Next up is one of Rain's best friends from across the pond. Before I introduce him, I would like to announce that we are going to do our third Rain Summit Europe this year, and we're going to do it in our next speaker's home city. Rain Summit Europe, this first year was Berlin, second year was Brussels. This year it'll be on Tuesday, November 4th in London. So we hope you can join us for that if you'd like an excuse for business travel. And there have been great events, and I think you'll get a lot of value from new speakers, lots of stuff in the European events. So I think you'll like them. The next presentation is being given by one of Rain's favorite Brits. I know you'll enjoy his presentation because Jennifer saw it at Radio Days Europe in Dublin just a couple of weeks ago and gave it high marks. Here is, to give us a look at the world's best radio apps, is radio futurologist James Cridland.
As Kurt said, I'm a radio futurologist. I guess the radio industry needs at least one of those in the world, so I'm that. I'm a radio consultant, a speaker, and a writer helping radio stations understand what's next. And I've worked for these fine companies over the last 6 months, most of whom have paid their bill, which is nice. Now, back in 2005, I was working for the original Virgin Radio in London, and I launched the world's first radio app. And I've played with a lot of radio apps since. Many radio apps are the same old thing. They're a logo, a listen live button, and that's kind of about it. But some apps have caught my eye and my ear. And I've spoken to a variety of different companies across the world on Skype and in real life about what they're most proud of inside their apps. So in the next 15 minutes, I plan to show you how radio apps for broadcast and pure play stations can make more money, can look and sound better, what's happening to add personalization, and some great new ideas of additional features. But I'll start with how to enhance the radio experience. Because some apps are the equivalent of this piece of radio technology, just a way of listening to the radio station. And that's all fine. But often we hear stuff we want to hear about, but the big colour screen on the app really does very little when you're tuned into a live radio station. Well, Gav Richards from UK-based developer G Media wants to change all of that with something that he's calling Radio Feed.
We wanted people to have a good reason to come back to the app. So if they're listening on the bus, for example, and they want something interesting to look at while they're listening, we wanted something that felt quite lively, useful, informative, something that stations felt they could potentially monetize from as well. So Radio Feed is almost like a Facebook-style feed of what you're listening to right now. So if I'm listening to a song, I can see information about the song, but we've taken it further than that. So the radio station will inform us of when they're broadcasting, say, a news bulletin, and we'll then pull together the data that we already have about the news, and we'll do the same thing for traffic, and we'll do the same thing for weather, and potentially we can do it for ads. We'll actually pull through some more information about that ad and offer the user the ability to head through to the advertiser's website, for example.
This is 107.6 Juice FM in Chambers. Got the latest news for Liverpool.
On FM.
Online.
And now on DAB Digital Radio.
This is Juice News.
Juice Liverpool.
Moore's murderer Ian Brady is now...
Juice weather.
Going to be cloudy today, bit of rain about as well. Highs of 7 degrees. I'm Chris Chambers. There's more at 11 o'clock.
Cheers, Chamber. Right there, music coming up from Miley Cyrus. I'll do M83 as well. Loving that song, Midnight City. First though, here's a lesser one, One Republic. If I Lose Myself on Juice FM.
Music live from Liverpool One.
Well, that's quite nicely done. Radio Feed from G Media. You might also consider making that stuff clickable as well, so you can buy the songs or maybe even see the lyrics. Song lyrics are surprisingly popular, and there's a company called Lyric Find that can help there, and it's in many radio apps already. They're here today at Rain. Now, a big part of music radio is helping people find new music, as you've just heard. The BBC's Playlister feature wants to help people remember the great new music that they hear on the radio.
Have you ever heard music on the BBC, then wondered what it was? Or do you keep forgetting the name of a track or an artist that you want to hear more of? Now, BBC Playlister makes it easier to go from hearing the music you love to finding out what that track is. All it takes is a single click to send the track to your own playlist. Then you'll be able to remember and collect all of the music you love from across the BBC in one place.
So it's just one push of a button in the BBC iPlayer radio app while you enjoy a radio show, and you've added the song to your own playlist, which sounds okay, but what happens then?
BBC Playlister also links to your existing digital music players, Spotify, YouTube, and Deezer. So you can quickly and easily export your BBC playlist from Playlister to these platforms and listen to the tracks in full. Then add them to your other playlists and share them with your friends.
It's a really nice idea. BBC Playlister, you can play with it on the BBC iPlayer website. Just go to bbc.co.uk, sorry, bbc.com/radio. And it's also available in the app as well. Now, as smartphones replace clock radios and alarm clocks, an alarm is one of the most must-have features in any radio app, and it's really surprising how many radio apps don't actually have an alarm clock in there yet. But as Daniel Anstandic from LDR says, in their Groover app, they've gone for something a bit different and a bit more personal.
Typically, the way that it works is that most radio station apps will just turn on at a certain time of day and start playing the station stream. What our alarm clock does is a personalized greeting for that user. We have a voice that sounds like Siri, that whenever the alarm goes off, it'll say, "Good morning, James. Today your weather is sunny and a high of 25. Today some of your friends from Facebook are having birthdays." And then it will read you the names and ages of your friends on Facebook who are having birthdays. Coming up this morning at 9:30, don't forget the song of the day, and now here's the morning show. So then it goes into the stream.
Hi, it's Cash and Carrie. We're poking you right now.
Poke, poke.
Come on, get out of bed. Today's best country's playing.
Get up, rise and shine. Have a great day.
K95.5 FM.
Before you crawl out of bed, let's see what the weather's going to be like.
Today, sunny, high 73 degrees.
Good morning. All right, time to look at birthdays.
Jeremy Casper has a birthday. Brett Vasilani is 23 today.
You know what time it is? It's time to get your butt out of bed. Wake up.
Today's best country, K95.
Well, that's quite a twist to the standard alarm clock feature. Here's a twist to personalised radio. In Australia, they are planning a more personal kind of radio, but it's more than just personalised music like Pandora or Slacker. Here's a company called Omni. Ed Hooper will explain what Omni is.
Omni is an app that lets you create your own personalised radio station, where you get to pick the music, the shows you love, the updates you're interested in. So rather than having a station pick what's best for everyone in the city or in a country, you can say, I want country music, I like these presenters, I like shows about technology, and I want to find out if any of my friends are having a birthday on Facebook. And it will build all of that into a station, and it will play the most important bits.
And it took quite some time to build as well.
Look, I think there's a lot of different challenges that needed to be solved or tackled to get a really good, I guess, first version of this going, which is why it took us almost 2 years before we were able to get the product ready for market. So, our platform at the moment, we're essentially trying to take all these different types of audio content from big syndicated partners all the way down to small independent podcasters, but then trying to pull in local content like traffic and news and weather based off of particular locations. We need partners in all the different regions. We'd like people to use the app. Then we're getting updates to the text and we're converting them to speech, which is a whole challenge in its own. And then finally the music piece, which, luckily over the last few years, some of the streaming services have done a great job at solving that, which has really helped us. Once we get all of these pieces, we're then trying to rank and prioritize all of them based off all these different variables for each individual user. And that's just a lot of processing power being needed. There's a lot of, I guess, mathematics and IP behind this. And it has taken a long time to build, and I'm sure there are others out there who are working on similar technology that we just haven't seen, come to market yet.
That's the Omni app. It's available in Australia. It's coming soon to other countries, apparently. Worthwhile checking out Swell as well. More to come with RAM in the next panel. Outside of radio, SoundCloud is a large website full of great pieces of audio, complete with a mobile-friendly player as well as an app. Ben Fawkes says that the tools that they've built around social media are hugely important.
I think that's the main reason why SoundCloud is so popular and so used, is because I mean the site started because we wanted to allow musicians actually to collaborate and give feedback on each other's work, and from there people have used that system of commenting on a particular second to give feedback or praise or give their opinion, and that's an inherently social thing. And then also the fact that we're integrated into Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Tumblr, WordPress, and we have an HTML5 player means that it's social because it can be played everywhere. So it's the kind of the essence of what SoundCloud is, really.
It's always nice seeing somebody from media with glasses and a beard. It's very unusual. So SoundCloud have really, as you can see, spent a long time encouraging audiences to share great content in other places and to comment on that audio as well. They are actually now the #1 audio site in the world for sharing audio content, which is really interesting. Getting audiences to take part is really important as well. Commotion is a neat app used by a bunch of radio stations. It allows you to take part in a conversation with everybody else who's tuned in. From Commotion, here's Ryan Burgoyne.
Commotion is basically a tool that takes all the communication endpoints and literally brings them together. I guess you can kind of think of it as a universal inbox, and allows both listeners to engage with other listeners. So if I've got a listener over here on the iPhone platform, I've got a listener over here on Android or on Facebook or Twitter, they can see the same conversation and engage in a one-to-one conversation or one-to-many conversation within the Commotion platform. You know, what we're finding is that radio stations that launch this platform, what they find is that listeners obviously can choose to go to anything. They go to Facebook or Twitter, or they go to text. But what we find is that radio is about a community. And so they love to come together in that community and actually have a conversation with other listeners while they're listening to the radio station.
So Commotion says it makes the apps really useful even for people who don't want to stream the audio because they're already tuned in on another device. And in fact, an extra 50% of traffic comes to their radio apps just to interact, which is really interesting. Here's another way of interacting with the voice. Who'd have thought it? Daniel Anstanding again from LDR talking about open mic.
So with the open mic feature, as a listener, when I click into it, it will ask me to record up to 10 seconds of audio using my phone. So this works in Android, iPad, iPhone. I record 10 seconds. The phone audio quality is actually quite remarkable. And then the audio, when I click send, it goes directly to the radio station studio. We built a control panel that sits in the station studio, and they can see automatic transcriptions of the audio that's coming in. They can make notes and archive any of the audio that comes in, and they can see who sent it. And as a listener, once I click send, I can also sign up to get an email, a text, or a tweet whenever I'm personally about to be on the air.
Well, let's hear a clip of that. Here's Power 95.3. It's a radio station in Orlando, in Florida. It's a Cox station, Tim. They have some Justin Timberlake tickets to give away to the person who can sing Justin Timberlake songs straight into their mobile app.
Let's listen to Fauzia. Let's hear how she sounds real quick.
Oh, being little Sean, my husband thinks I'm crazy, but I need these JT tickets, or I'm gonna cry a river.
Oh my God!
I want to hear Simone.
I'm from Orlando. I know this is a long shot, but I am looking in the mirror like Justin Timberlake would say, and it's staring back at me, telling me I need these tickets.
You gotta sing, girl.
She didn't sing. All right.
Ladies, Joshua Martin. Let's hear him.
Oh, and he's a beatbox?
Don't be so quick to one day screaming you love, you love.
Oh, I remember him.
Next day you're so cold. One day you're here, one day you're there.
Wow, he left like a million open mic messages singing. I love it. What is his name? Joshua Martin?
Congratulations, Joshua Martin picked up the last pair of tickets here with the Obi Little Child Morning Show for tonight's Justin Timberlake.
Awesome.
Remember, we could have some at draft.
I think what's really good about that is that songs, if you've ever got people to sing a song through their smartphone, it sounds absolutely dreadful. But that was some quite nice sounding audio, as long as you ignore the rubbish singing. So, now, what do you do when you have a great app, but you want to earn more revenue? what you do is you launch another app, like Australia's Southern Cross Austereo. Here's Jason Malore from All In Media, a man who claims he hasn't got a working webcam.
They've just rolled out an AFL Triple M app. So Triple M, as you know, very popular station, has always had quite a strong relationship with football. So they've rolled out a Triple M AFL app that gives you access to the live radio stream, but also gives you additional information. So it gives you live scores and huge amounts of detail around the AFL season. So again, it's if you're a Triple M listener and you like the coverage, then you can download this app and it gives you access to live scores, details of all the fixtures. You can select which teams you're interested in. It tells you when they're playing, how they're standing. It's also sponsored. So the app is sponsored by McDonald's. So when the app starts, you have a very nice video telling you how good, I think it's McDonald's selections are. And then you can link to McDonald's and find your local McDonald's directly from within the app.
So it's a really clever way of getting into the App Store all over again under a new category and earning revenue from it at the same time. Really nice way. Here's another app. This is Shopper Nova. It's a standalone app from a radio station called Nova FM in Australia. It's a great way of earning additional revenue from your advertisers by doing coupons and special offers from people who are already spending on air. There are quite a few of these types of apps around. One of the things I quite like about this is that some of the coupons are very time limited. So the radio DJ can promote them, so it gives a good reason that a radio presenter should be tuned into, that a radio listener should be tuned into the radio station. And there's geo-targeting and there's all the other stuff that you'd expect in there as well. So finally, let's just talk about images, because images, I think, are really important. You saw from BIA Kelsey earlier on, they think that the UX experience for radio is really important. Me too. This, as you know, is the Next Radio app. Now, let's ignore the FM radio stuff, because that's not important. Let's concentrate on the user experience instead. Those full-color images and more information appearing on the stream whenever they play a song. Paul Brenner is in charge of Next Radio, and when it comes to audience figures, he says images bring real differences.
Immense differences. We often quote double the listener habit, which means for those folks that do choose to use Next Radio app as a way to listen to FM on the smartphone, that number of people, one, doubles, and the amount of time they spend listening, if they do stick around, more than doubles. So I think it's very important that the consumer expectation be met, which is to be cool. And I think to be cool means to have a way to feel connected to that app beyond just what they hear through the FM tuner.
So double the QUME, double the TSL just by adding images. That's really impressive. Well, that's it from me. So I hope you've seen a bunch of great ideas, a bunch of great features to help you build the world's greatest radio app. And I'm really keen to see your world's best radio app. So please do come and show it off in my hometown of London when Rain returns to Europe in November. I'll see you in the pub. Thank you very much.